In our last video we introduced you to the falsifier. We demonstrated that he has a history of misconstruing the truth for his own immoral reasons. He plays parts on both sides of a divide, then he pretends that he is being persecuted. Now we will expose the bottomless depths of his depravation. We ended our last video, The Taint Within the Falsifier Part 1. We had shown how the falsifier had sent out 2 phishing emails. One was sent to the Guardian and one was sent to whom the falsifier thought was us. The Guardian opened both emails. Now that we knew there was another individual with at least some computer skill involved with the falsifier's crimes, we were willing to wait for the unknown accomplices to reveal themselves. However, we were not done investigating the falsifier. We continued to monitor his online activities and expand our files of evidence in regards to his crimes. We did not have to wait long, as the falsifier's depravity could not be contained. The Guardian gave the falsifier multiple chances and warned him repeatedly that there was going to be consequences if he did not cease his treachery. The falsifier chose to ignore those warnings and continued to pursue his immoral actions in his attempt to manipulate the truth. The falsifier had already sent fraudulent emails to the Guardian, yet he still insisted that they were friends. He claimed that he was offering support to the Guardian and that he could be trusted. The falsifier can never be trusted. The Guardian warned the falsifier that the truth would come out. The falsifier ignored her and decided that he would attempt to control both the Guardian and we are all with threats of exposure if we were to antagonize either the falsifier or his friends. The falsifier is morally bankrupt, in every sense. We wonder, do you find these videos antagonizing? We truly hope so. Even though the falsifier knew that the Guardian's wife had been hospitalized with a life-threatening illness, and that the Guardian was solely responsible for her disabled mother as well as her 4-year-old daughter, the falsifier chose to go through with his nefarious plot. In the early afternoon of February 10th, the falsifier contacted the Guardian and informed her that her 4-year-old child was being posted about on a new Facebook page called Canadians Against Freedom. The name and profile picture of the page was a deliberate attack against the Guardian, as it was referencing her group and repeating the insults she had received from the freedom fighters in the past. The first half-dozen published posts were in regards to the Guardian, her daughter, her family and her friends. Then the posts referencing the falsifier began to be published. There was a recent picture of his home, his failed political career, his place of employment and his boyfriend. There was a map posted that was intended to be vaguely threatening to the Guardian, but the street name was incorrect. There were slanderous claims that were included. There was even a post that linked to a frontline worker's Twitter account. The page posted verbal insults about the Guardian's hospitalized wife. The more posts and screenshots that we came across in regards to this new page were beginning to show some interesting patterns and mistakes. We noticed that the timestamps of the screenshots the falsifier provided did not make sense. It seemed as though he had 2 separate sets of screenshots, both of which were taken at different intervals. Then the falsifier made his greatest mistake to date. He sent the Guardian a screenshot that included the boost information for the page Canadians Against Freedom. Only an individual with a role on a page can see that boost option. The falsifier was kind enough to send a second screenshot with that evidence included, but the second one also included a comment from the falsifier's page and the chaos. We would like to point out that there is no way that the average person can comment on a page that has not yet been published. It is also impossible that and the chaos could have commented on that page before it was published unless the same person was running both pages. So now there was physical evidence that the falsifier had in fact created the Facebook page that was attacking the Guardian, her family and friends, as well pretending to attack himself. The falsifier continued to share screenshots, for which we are grateful, as he was providing more evidence of his fraudulent actions than we could have located without his idiocy. The falsifier began accusing Miss S of creating the page. She was the woman that had caused him to cower on December 30th. He shared screenshots of her boyfriend in an attempt to create a non-existent link from her to the page of his creation. Then the threats started. The falsifier claimed that the creators of the page were coming to his home. It is sickening that he would take his fraudulent actions to such a level of filth. Yet he still had not revealed how much he was willing to pervert the truth. Sprinkled throughout his falsehoods regarding his impending attacks, he was still trying to push the narrative that Miss S was the page creator. He even provided a very poorly doctored screenshot as evidence to this false accusation. He also attempted to link an alternate Facebook profile to her in his unjust quest. He provided even more poorly falsified evidence in his continued witch hunt. His newest posts on his page, Canadians Against Freedom, was continuing to make transphobic and slanderous remarks against The Guardian. For an individual that screams LGBTQ+ discrimination at every opportunity, he was more than willing to cause extreme duress to The Guardian, while her life was falling apart, due to the health issues facing her wife. He slithered his attention back to Project Phoenix long enough to accuse them as having a hand in his fraudulent page. After that, the falsifier claimed that his car was stolen. We would explain how this happened, but we feel it would be better if the falsifier shares this part of his story in his own words. All 5 versions of his story.
And at 3 a.m., my partner Austin and I were laying in bed. We had just gone into the room. I was in the living room here, where I am right now. I turned off the lights. I walked to the bedroom, and I literally laid my head down on the pillow, and I heard a car door open. I heard it slam. I heard a car engine turn on. Lights popped up, and then they started pulling out of the driveway, and I thought, oh, it's just the neighbors upstairs, you know. I wonder what they're doing up at 3 a.m. And nope, it was someone stealing my car. So we've contacted the OPP. Somebody asking when I noticed, I heard the car door slam, I heard the engine turn on, and I heard the car back out, and when I heard my brakes, because they hit the brakes to be able to back out and around from where my car is parked, they went, and somehow magically we were only able to see them pull out when they were almost on the sidewalk. So else, I didn't unfortunately get a glimpse of the witness, the person that stole the car. Austin didn't either. He kind of thought he saw similar features on someone, but obviously from a distance, I don't think the police will consider that reliable.
So here's my little problem, okay? I was in the living room from about 6:30 onwards. I didn't leave. I had the lights on. I had the TV on. I was watching TV. 2:55, I shut off the lights in the living room, shut off the TV, walked to the bedroom. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I had just laid down beside Austin, kissed him goodnight, and was going to bed. And then all of a sudden, we heard the car door open, the car door slam, the car turn on, and then we heard the engine going, and we realized after we heard my squealing brakes that someone had stolen my car, and we weren't able to get a good look at the suspects, but the police came, they found a footprint of whoever it is, and so now we are just sitting here shaken up, obviously. And then last night at 3 a.m., we had just gone to bed. We were out watching TV in the living room where I am right now. I shut off all the lights. I shut off the TV, shut the blinds or the curtains, went to the bedroom, and I had literally just laid my head on the pillow and was saying, I love you to Austin, like, I love you, good night. And we heard a car door open, we heard a car door slam, and we heard a car start, and I went, that sounds like my car. But I saw lights pouring in through one of the side windows of our house, and so then we heard my brakes squealing because my brakes were about to be replaced today, and unfortunately, they had stolen my car at 3 in the morning.
The disgusting levels that the falsifier was voluntarily lowering himself to had still not been revealed. We will be covering that in great detail in our next video. To be continued.